Democrats. Today is Wednesday, August 17th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday. So what that means is that we have 6 days until the election on August 23rd. So it's next Tuesday, or you can vote early in person starting tomorrow. So that's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, or you can vote at your precinct location on Tuesday. Now, there's been a whole bunch of stuff going on. So please, please, please check your new voters registration card. If you don't know where it is, just like I don't know where mine is. If you don't know where it is, go out to the state election board, put in your name and birthday, and it will tell you where you're supposed to vote on Tuesday. So that's happening. That's right around the corner. We are 6 days away from the election next week, and it's a big one. It's the runoff at a minimum, depending on where you live. At a minimum, you have the runoff for senator. So it's who are we going to run to replace James Lankford? And our choices are Jason Bollinger and Madison Horn. That's who's going to be on the ballot on Tuesday. Then our next election, y'all ready for this? This is crazy. Our next election is 83 days away. 83 days. So we have a really important 82 days. We got to run through the tape. You got to get out there and know who's going to be on your ballot, get to know them as people and what they stand for. And there's a lot that we need to change. We have 2 Senate races that are on the ballot. 2. Oklahoma doesn't always get 2 ballots, but most states don't get 2 senatorial candidates in 1 year, and Oklahoma has that this year. We have 2. We have an opportunity to make real change for our state. And then all 5 of our congressional districts are up, as they are every 2 years. So in Congressional District 1, which is the Tulsa area, we have Adam Martin running. Congressional District 2, which is the whole east coast of our state, we have Naomi Andrews running. Congressional District 3, which is actually by land half of our state. So it's the west coast all the way over to Tulsa, the west coast of the state all the way over to Tulsa. So it includes Langston and Stillwater and all of that. That's Congressional District 3. And we have Jeremiah Ross. Congressional District 4 is South Central Oklahoma. So it's from Midwest City down to Norman, Purcell, all of that down. It includes Lawton and Ardmore. That's Congressional District 4. And we have Mary Brannon running for Congressional District 4. And then Congressional District 5, which is some of Oklahoma County because of gerrymandering. It's only some of Oklahoma County, some of Lincoln and Logan and Canadian County, Pottawatomie County, and I think a little bit of Seminole. That is Congressional District 5. And we have Joshua Harris Till running for Congress in Congressional District 5. So why am I telling you this? Did Langston move to CD5? I know that Congressional District 5 got some of Logan County. I'm not sure if Langston is part of CD5 or CD3. So check me. If you live there, go out to the state election board, look it up and find out what congressional district you're in. You have someone running for Congress. You just need to know who it is. That's why it's super important to keep up to date with where your districts are, where you're supposed to vote, and who you're voting for. And so keep in mind that Oklahoma State Election Board, put in your name, your birthday, it'll tell you what your districts are. So I went through all of that. Oh, we also have the governor's race on the ballot. The governor's race is on the ballot. Now, it's been weeks since I told you a tale of Governor Stitt. It's been weeks because it upsets my stomach a little bit. So I want to stay positive, and I'm just going to remind you that he's on the ballot and he has to go. Or as I heard earlier this week, Stitt ain't it. All right, so let's focus on why I'm telling you this, because I want you to know. I want you to know, and I want you to be focused. And I want to talk about things that are important in Oklahoma. So I read a stream. We don't post everything that someone comments because there are 4 different sites where people are, but I try to keep up with what y'all care about, what y'all ask me about, what people DM me about, what they ask me about when I leave my house. Some of the things that people are talking about are inflation, education, government accountability, infrastructure, and healthcare. Those are the ones that I hear about all the time, right? That's what I hear about all the time. So inflation. When you start thinking about gas prices, the raising utility prices, prescription drugs, and just like affordability, I want you to think about who sets those things and who votes on those things and who writes bills on those things, so you know why it's important to who to vote for. So gas prices. So President Biden, put forth the price gouging, the anti-price gouging bill for gasoline. Who voted on that? That was Congress and Senate. Congress and Senate. So when you think about who has an effect on that, that would be Kendra Horn, who's running to fill the seat vacated by Jim Inhofe. Kendra Horn. So when the next time this comes up, who do you want in DC voting for that? That's Kendra Horn. And either Madison Horn or Jason Bollinger. You need to think about who do you want making decisions about gas prices, prescription drugs, taking care of our veterans, just basic affordability. Who do you want in DC making that decision? You can have Kendra Horn, you can have Madison or Jason, and you can have Adam, Naomi, Jeremiah, Mary, or Joshua there in DC making decisions that are for Oklahoma, not making decisions going along with the extremists on the other side, because that's what's befallen our congressional representatives. They're making decisions based on what their friends are doing, because they're not making decisions for us. I'll remind you that our congressional delegation voted against capping insulin prices, voted against protecting our veterans from the burn pits, voted against reducing the price gouging for gas. That's what our congressional delegation did. We need to send new folks there. And again, Kendra Horn and either Madison Horn or Jason Bollinger. Adam Martin, Naomi Andrews, Jeremiah Ross, Mary Brannon, Joshua Harris Till. That's who we want in DC representing us. So wherever you live, go find out who they are so that you feel comfortable voting for them. Education. So another issue that people are talking to me about is education. So specifically, how ridiculous HB 1775 is, how ridiculous the bill is on its face, and how murky it is. So it's hard to enforce, and how all it takes is one person to whine and say they're not happy, and it completely discombobulates an entire school district. Then there's teacher flight. I don't want to call it a teacher shortage. It's teacher flight. Folks are not necessarily even leaving Oklahoma, but they're leaving the profession. And then vouchers. These are the things that people are talking about when they talk about education to me. I'm sure that there are other things, but these are the things that I'm hearing. Who do we want in place making those decisions? Well, we want a governor who's not pushing a voucher agenda. Well, we already know that the current guy is pushing a voucher agenda. We also know that current superintendent of public instruction, Joy Hoffmeister, has not been pushing vouchers, has been pointing out the importance of why we need balance, why vouchers aren't necessarily the way. And she was one of the folks who raised the most stink about EPIC, quite frankly. We need folks like Melissa Provenzano and Trish Ranson and Jacob Rosecrans, who are former classroom teachers who represent us in the State House. Those are the kind of people we need making decisions about education in our state. And those are people who are on your ballot. And then for superintendent of public instruction, we need Gina Nelson, right? Not embroiled in scandal, is actually returning to the classroom this cycle so she knows what classroom teachers are dealing with right now. Not what they dealt with 20 years ago, but what they're dealing with right now. And that's who we need. We need someone in that position who won't be making decisions that are hard to manage as a teacher, because she's currently a teacher, so she knows what they deal with. Joy Hoffmeister, Melissa Provenzano, Gina Nelson, if you care about education. Trish Ranson, Melissa Provenzano, Jacob Rosecrans. Those are all, Carrie Hicks. Those are all former classroom teachers who are on the ballot in November. And then government accountability. I could talk forever about how this is missing in our state. SWAT lease, land, the $5 million of COVID stuff we paid for that we didn't get. We need accountability back in our government. So that's the governor's office, Joy Hoffmeister. That's the lieutenant governor, whose responsibility is to keep all of our boards doing what they're supposed to do. Thank you, Karen Gaddis. I left off Jennifer Esau, who is a current classroom teacher who's on the ballot. I'm sure I've left off someone else, but Jennifer Esau. Don't forget Jennifer Esau in the eastern part of the state. So when you're thinking about education, when you're thinking about voting, understand that we have folks on our ballot that who will directly affect the classroom, who know what's happening in the classroom now, who have dealt with the cuts, who have dealt with the micromanagement, who have dealt with the disrespect. That's who we need in place, making decisions that will hopefully stem the teacher flight. Then there's accountability, and then there's infrastructure, clean water, access to broadband. How many more toll roads do we need as a state? And then climate. We need more charging stations, and we need the infrastructure to make that happen. I'm going to throw out some names. Kendra Horn, and either Madison Horn or Jason Bollinger. All of our congressional people. Those are the people that we need making decisions about our infrastructure. And then healthcare, prescription prices, the fentanyl crisis that everybody's talking about. These are the things that our congressional delegation, including our senators, are voting on. We already know what the people who are in place right now, we know what they stand for. We know how they're going to vote because they have a record of voting against us, not voting in a way that represents Oklahoma. They need to go. And we have viable, quality candidates that you can go out and meet and ask them to earn your vote, that we can do a wholesale replacement and perhaps be represented in DC. That's all I want to talk about today, is how can Oklahoma be represented by the government that we supposedly elect. That's the big thing that I really want everybody to focus on. Please focus on getting out there and meeting the candidates. So I'm going to tell you a couple of events where candidates are going to be between now and November 8th. There are going to be more, but I'm going to put some on your radar. So we have the Women's Federation Equality Day on August 27th. There are going to be over 30 candidates at that event where you get to hear them speak. You get to know who they are. There's the Veterans Pancake Breakfast. That's on, I want to say September 10th. That's going to be in Oklahoma City. There are always plenty of candidates there. You need to get there, hear who they are. There's the Just Desserts event held by the Tulsa Women's Federation called Heart of the Party. That's going to be early in September. Go out to our website. It's on the calendar. And then the Leading Ladies event that's going to be in Midwest City on Tuesday, September 13th. Plenty of candidates there. Go hear the candidates speak. Get to know the candidates. Pick your candidates so you know who you're voting for. That's your homework. You got to get out there and meet the candidates so you know who you're voting for. Thanks for indulging me. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 4:15. Have a great one.